In this video I will show you how to retime a vintage Singer 78 industrial sewing machine to accommodate more modern needles. The content of this video: needle size is not the needle type, the needles of the Singer 78-1, how the machine catches a thread, check the current timing of your vintage Singer, the 3 options, and adjusting the needle bar. As you might know, there is a difference between the needle type and the needle size. It's like a drill. The tip of the drill and how wide it is, it's all the size. Most drills are universal, so you can use it in different machines. Not so much when it comes to sewing machine needles. Most sewing machines require a specific needle type with exact dimensions. Most often we measure the distance between the butt of the needle and the opening of the eye of the needle. This Singer 78 uses the type 16x99 or type 16x100 needles. The distance of those needles is 37.3 millimeters. Unfortunately, the 16x100 is not available anymore and the 16x99 is hard to come by. It's good to mention that also the type 108x1 and 141x1 needles are identical in length. But 108x1 is also hard to find, and I couldn't find the 141x1 at all. But we can change the timing of the needle bar in order to use a different type of needle. You're probably familiar with this kind of system. The needle goes through the material, and when it goes up again, a loop appears near the eye of the needle. A hook will catch that loop and pulls it around the raised section. Let's assume your machine is correctly timed using the correct needle, the 16x99 or the 108x1. Remove the throat plate and watch the needle and hook interact. Turn the hand wheel by hand. The needle comes down and then goes up again. When it has risen 2.4 mm after its lowest point, the point of the hook should be around the top of the eye of the needle. And you're right, the distance is very small. Now change the needle for the one you want to use. There are 3 options I could think of: a shorter needle, a longer needle, or a third option. The disadvantage of a short needle: you need to lower the needle bar, but it can bump or crash into one of the feet. When using a longer needle, the needle bar must be raised up. Both of these options can be hard to achieve, because it has been clamped like this for many decades. It's not a quick nor easy task. The third option is more, well, kind of a hack. You can grind off a few mil to the desired length of 37.3 millimeters. By doing so, you can leave the needle bar as it is. My situation is like this. I have hundreds of new 16x6 needles, so if possible I want to use those. But the length is not even close to 37.3 millimeters. It is 33.9. So I have to lower the needle bar, and most likely the needle bar will make contact with a smaller foot. Closer to the original needle is a 134-35 needle. With 38.1 mm, it's just 1 mm longer compared to the goal. After some consideration, I'm willing to modify the machine to the 134-35 needle type. And yes, this is the needle type specific for the old FAF industrial sewing machines. The 134-35 is different to the class 134, by the way. To my surprise, the 134-35 needle does work on my 78-1. So it is not necessary for me to adjust the needle bar. But nevertheless, I want to help you in changing the vertical position of your needle bar. First, get one of the needles you want to use and measure the distance between the butt and the top of the needle eye. Calculate the difference in height compared to the 1699 distance, which is 37.3 mm. Now you know how much the needle bar has to move, up or down. Only one screw holds the needle bar in place. Turn the hand wheel in order to set the needle bar to its lowest position. Through this hole you can access that one screw. Loosen it, but do not remove it. And now comes the hard part. The needle bar is in this position for decades now. So probably you may have difficulties to move it. Use plenty of sewing machine oil and patience. You can use a heat gun too, in order to let the metal expand and retract. By doing so, the SMO can soak everything and everywhere. If none of that works, you might want to use a small amount of kerosene, that's aviation fuel. Apply sewing machine oil to those spots immediately after you used kerosene. It says so in the Singer manual. When you have changed the position of the needle bar, tighten the screw and check the eye of the needle. And then the fun part, sewing with this vintage Singer. Don't forget to write down what you have changed. When you pass it along to its new owner, that new owner must be informed too. I hope this video was helpful to you. I have multiple videos on this vintage 78 on YouTube, including a long video with all the information I was able to find. Also some videos on threading, maintenance and, well, so on. I hope you have a wonderful day and I will see you in the next video.